Welcome to another video of Southwest Florida Fishing Channel. It's Captain G, your host today. Today I'm just going to go over some basic items you should have if you're going out in the Gulf of Mexico and doing some saltwater fishing. Anywhere you're doing saltwater fishing, just some basic things that you may not have thought about. You're going to think about having a rod and a reel and wire cutters and that type of thing. But if you want to catch some live bait, and not be buying your bait all the time, if you get yourself some sabiki rigs, these are number 8. In the Gulf of Mexico, I prefer to use green or red. Green or red. Put these on a spinning reel, or if you do a lot of fishing, a lot of saltwater fishing, you might think about getting a bait rod. A bait rod, put a real nice spinning reel on there, nothing cheap, and that way when you're not using your sabiki, because they have the real sharp hooks and there's a lot of them, you can reel that up inside the bait rod. It's out of the way, no trouble. So and I prefer to use a 2-ounce pyramid sinker with my sabiki rigs. I'm catching live bait. If you see that there's live bait down there and you're not catching them, one way of speeding up the process is to put little tiny pieces of cut bait or squid on the ends of these little tiny hooks, and then put the rig in the water. And what I like to do, in the best method for using a sabiki, is if you have a center console to where you can walk up to the front of the boat, you're drifting, over some spots along the beach or whatever where you think are a wreck, where you think there's some live bait. Go up to the front of the boat, put my sabiki rig in the water straight up and down, and then kind of walk back to the back of the boat and repeat, because you want to keep the line straight up and down. Starts going on an angle, need to bring it in, start the process over again. Okay, and it's a good idea to wear gloves when taking off this live bait. Some of them have some spines and stuff like that can hurt you. So sabiki should have should keep several of these with you every time you go. Don't just bring one. And it's always, once you use a sabiki rig and you've caught a lot of fish on it and it looks like, some of the hooks are missing, or it's, you want to replace it. I almost put a new one on every time I go fishing, because hooks are sharp, ready to go. The feathers here are all nice and fresh. Catch a lot of live bait. So it's a cheap way catching live bait, filling up your live well. You don't have to throw a net, cast net. You can just, So there's that basic thing there. So another basic item for fishing in the Gulf of Mexico, I feel, is a simple pompano rig. This attracts a lot of fish. Not necessarily pompano, but you can catch a lot of snappers, you can catch grouper, just about anything that swims in the ocean you can catch on a pompano rig. So the best way to handle this is to take a 2-ounce pyramid sinker, put this on a nice spinning reel, medium action, and you cast it out away from the boat, and you slowly start to reel it, retrieve it. Let it sink all the way to the bottom. Cast it as far away as you can. Let it sink to the bottom. And then the idea is to work it back towards the boat slowly. And generally, within seconds, you'll feel a little tug. And just keep a strain on it, and you'll bring up some fish. And every time you cast, cast, well, I mean, you cast out there and you bring it back and you didn't catch anything, cast in a different direction. So this is a way to go to cover a lot of area, and this thing bounces around the bottom. This kicks up some sand. It attracts the fish. They like it. And when these things get chewed up and worn out, throw it away. Same thing with the sabiki. When they're not looking so good, throw them away. Keep plenty of new ones with you. Even if you're not fishing off a boat, if you're fishing off a pier or off the shore, off the beach, get some pompano rigs. Okay. And, you know, it's obvious that if you're in some rough seas, 2 to 3 feet seas, and there's a lot of current, you might go with a 3 or 4 ounce pyramid sinker. Another basic item to always have on your boat if you're going saltwater fishing is to have a bottom rig. This is an all-purpose bottom rig. Some people call them chicken rigs, but this is a rig that whether you're anchored or drifting, whether you're using cut bait, live bait, this is the end the weight goes on. So you can take any weight. If you're drifting in 80 feet of water with live bait, you'd want to use a 16-ounce ledge sinker. So you can very quickly change the weight based on the conditions. So this is a 3-way swivel. These are 100-pound test leader, 4-ounce circle hook. See that? There's a swivel, 3-way swivel. This I usually put a snap swivel on my end of my line on my rod, so I can just very quickly put this on, take it off. I can change the weight out if you feel this is too heavy for the conditions. Put a 12-ounce, 10-ounce, 8-ounce. And then when you get back to shore, make sure you wash this with fresh water. A lot of fresh water. You know, anything you put in salt water, you need to wash it. You need to wash your rods and reels. Even if you brought a rod and reel and you didn't even use it, but it was on your boat and you were out fishing in the Gulf of Mexico or the Atlantic Ocean or down the Keys, the salt air, you need to flush it with fresh water and put it so it dries real good. You know, don't leave anything. I don't leave things on my boat. It's best to bring them home, get everything dried out. So there you have it. Anybody have any questions, don't hesitate to ask us on YouTube. Appreciate it if you would subscribe to our channel. It would make us feel good. And, you know, let other people know. So we just try to pass on some, basic information, plus we have videos, catching fish too. But, so stay tuned to Southwest Florida Fishing Channel. This is Captain G. Until next time, fish on.